55 injuries that were compatible with those caused by falling from a height. So that's according to the autopsy. And the report also said that craniocerebral lesions were adequate enough to cause death, while internal and external hemorrhages in the skull, thorax, abdomen, and limbs, they contributed to the mechanism of death. Real quick takeaway from that, Joseph.
Yeah, I do have a problem with this, okay, because you cannot say that 25 injuries, individual injuries, are associated with a fall from this height. Now, I'm buying, if you're selling, you've got a single point of impact, because let's just think about it. If you think about dropping an object, let's just say if we dropped a bag of flour off of a 3-story balcony, there'll be the part that you can appreciate in that bag of flour where it rips. You know, because that's the point of impact. Now they're saying he's got 25 different injuries that are associated with a fall. How does that happen? Now, if you were falling down a flight of stairs, I'd buy that. Okay. Because you're bouncing off, you're pinballing off. Some of these things are interlocked.
Right. Are you suggesting that perhaps these injuries happened before the fall?
Yeah, they could. And that's why it's so important, that when we examine injuries in the morgue, we might see them at the scene, but when you get it under the surgical lighting in the morgue, you pick up on things. Here's the big thing, Jesse, is you want to be able to try to understand the age of these injuries. And that's why literally in the morgue, we dissect the injuries externally where we will actually trim into them or cut into them. And if you've got an area of, say, a contusion, fancy word for a bruise, we all know the stages of coloration with a bruise. Well, if you've got a yellow bruise on you, that's not recent.
But just to couple that for a second, if he was injured minutes before the fall, you wouldn't be able to tell the time frame between minutes.
No, that'd be much more difficult. It'd have to be a few
days or something like that, right?
Yeah, and so what I would begin to look for relative to these other kind of peripheral injuries that they're referring to, Jesse, is patterns. So let's just say you fall off of a structure and there's a concrete or cobblestone below. That's going to leave a specific impact pattern. Well, is he punching a wall? You know, is he jamming his shoulder into the wall? I don't know what's broken in there. Does he have glass cuts? You know, those sorts of things. So then you begin to look for patterns to try to understand what happened.
Definitely something not right at the back of the head there. That's just not normal, is it? It's almost like someone's tried to cover something up at the back of the head. I mean, what else can that be? That's not normal. That's not just pixelation from zooming in. You should still see this kind of, at the side of the head, you can still sort of see the detail of the hair.